They're designed to make your jaw drop. From wedge-shaped UFOs on wheels to bubble-top cars straight out of a 50s sci-fi movie, automakers have been showing off crazy concept cars for decades, making people wonder, is this even legal? Most of them never made it past the showroom floor. Too weird, too expensive, or too ahead of their time. But once you've seen them, you'll never forget them. Get ready, we're about to take a look at 8 of the weirdest cars ever invented in the name of innovation.
Make sure to subscribe and smash the like button.
Number 8. In 2008, BMW pulled the cover off a concept car so strange that, at first glance, you might think it was alive. The Gina Light Visionary model. The name stood for Geometry and Functions in N adaptations. But what really mattered was its skin. Instead of metal panels, the Gina wore a flexible, stretchable fabric tightly wrapped over a movable frame. This wasn't just for show. Underneath, a network of electric and hydraulic actuators could shift the car's shape on command. Headlights would peek out like eyelids opening. The hood could split down the middle like a zipper to reveal the engine. And even the car's contours could morph for aerodynamics or style. Imagine your car changing clothes depending on mood or purpose. That was the idea. The fabric itself was waterproof, durable, and resistant to temperature changes, more like a high-tech sportswear material than a soft t-shirt. BMW claimed it could be easily replaced or recolored, making it far more customizable than traditional bodywork. Of course, Gina was never meant for production. Safety regulations, crash protection, and the sheer weirdness of fabric bodywork kept it as a pure design experiment. But philosophically, it was huge. BMW was saying, why should a car's shape be permanent? Today, the Gina is remembered as one of the boldest concept cars ever built. A literal shapeshifter that hinted at a future where cars are as adaptable as clothing. Number 7. The 1956 Pontiac Club de Mer. The jet age hits the road. In the mid-1950s, America was obsessed with speed, space, and the promise of the jet age. Pontiac's answer to that cultural wave was the 1956 Club de Mer, a concept car that looked less like a sedan and more like a land-bound speedboat with wheels. The Club de Mer's design was pure fantasy. A razor-sharp, pointed nose, a low-slung profile just 39 inches tall, and a body made entirely of brushed aluminum. Twin headrests rose behind the seats like fins on a hydroplane racer, while a wraparound windshield gave the driver a cockpit-like view of the road. The name Club de Mer literally meant Sea Club, nodding to its nautical inspiration. Under the hood sat a 300-horsepower V8, giving it performance to match its sleek looks, at least on paper, since it was never mass-produced. The interior was equally futuristic, with a minimalist dashboard and jet-inspired gauges. Pontiac built it as a one-off for the Motorama show circuit, a rolling piece of theater meant to prove that Pontiac could be just as daring as Chevrolet or Cadillac in the styling department. Sadly, like many Motorama dream cars, the original was destroyed after its show life ended, a common fate for GM concepts of the era. Today, the Club de Mer lives on in photographs and a handful of painstaking replicas, standing as a perfect snapshot of 1950s American optimism, when car designers thought the future would be half jet fighter, half yacht. Number 6. In 1970, at the Turin Motor Show, the world stopped and stared, literally, when Bertone rolled out the Lancia Stratos Zero. At just 33 inches tall, this concept car wasn't so much low-slung as it was practically lying flat on the asphalt. Designer Marcello Gandini, fresh off the Lamborghini Miura, decided to push the wedge-shaped trend to its absolute limit, creating something that looked more like an alien spacecraft than a road vehicle. The Stratos Zero's proportions were radical. A razor-sharp nose, enormous single-piece windshield, and side profile like a doorstop in motion. Entry wasn't through conventional doors. Instead, the entire front windshield tilted upward, and you climbed in feet first, like boarding a fighter jet in reverse. Beneath its sci-fi shell, the Zero used a Lancia Fulvia V4 engine mounted mid-ship. Performance was secondary to shock value. This was an art piece on wheels, a statement about the future of automotive form. While the Zero itself never went into production, its outrageous style directly inspired the production Lancia Stratos HF, one of the most legendary rally cars of all time. And in the broader automotive world, it cemented the wedge as the shape of 1970s supercars, influencing designs from Lamborghini to Lotus. The Stratos Zero remains a museum favorite today, a rolling piece of sculpture that still makes people wonder, is that even legal to drive? Number 5. In 1957, before crumple zones, airbags, or modern crash testing, a Connecticut priest named Father Alfred A. Giuliano set out to design the safest car in the world. The result was the Aurora Safety Car, a vehicle so far ahead in safety innovation and so far behind in style, it became a legend for all the wrong reasons. The Aurora's bloated, almost cartoon-like body was shaped to deflect collisions and protect pedestrians. It had a reinforced safety cage, padded dashboard, seatbelts, rare at the time, and even a collapsible steering column, all groundbreaking features. The windshield was a wraparound plexiglass bubble designed to reduce glare, and the fenders were oversized to shield wheels from dangerous contact. But here's the catch. While the engineering was forward-thinking, the aesthetics were polarizing. With its bulbous nose, massive overhangs, and awkward proportions, it looked less like a car and more like something from a 1950s comic strip. Only one Aurora was ever built, and it bankrupted Father Giuliano's dream. Today, it survives as a museum curiosity, a strange, fascinating reminder that safety and beauty don't always ride in the same lane. Number 4. The 1975 AMC Pacer, the fishbowl on wheels. When AMC unveiled the Pacer in 1975, it promised to be the first wide small car, a futuristic compact with unmatched interior space. Its most striking feature, those giant wraparound windows that flooded the cabin with light and earned it the enduring nickname, the fishbowl on wheels. The Pacer's bulbous, rounded body was unlike anything else on American roads, wide, short, and unapologetically weird. Designed during the energy crisis, AMC intended it to use a new fuel-efficient rotary engine. But when that engine project fell through, they crammed in a conventional inline-six instead, adding weight and killing performance. Public reaction was mixed. Some loved its panoramic visibility and quirky style. Others thought it looked like a partoon car. Over time, it became a cultural icon, from Wayne's World to classic car shows, embraced as a lovable oddball that dared to be different. In short, the AMC Pacer may not have been a sales hit, but it was one of the boldest and most instantly recognizable shapes of the 1970s. Number 3. Long before soccer moms and sliding doors, there was the stout Scarab, a streamlined Art Deco oddity that looked like it had just rolled off a Buck Rogers movie set. Dubbed the Cosmic Beetle for its curvy insect-like profile, it was the brainchild of aviation engineer William B. Stout, who decided cars should be as spacious and comfortable as airplanes. Instead of the cramped bench seats of the era, the Scarab featured a reconfigurable bus-like lounge, swivel chairs, a central table, and an open cabin. The flat floor was possible thanks to its rear-mounted Ford V8, freeing up the entire front for passengers to stretch out. It was technologically decades ahead. Monocoque construction, aerodynamic bodywork, and a modular interior design that wouldn't catch on until minivans appeared in the 1980s. Only about 9 were ever built, each handcrafted and wildly expensive, making it a rare sight even in its own time. Today, the stout Scarab is celebrated as one of the boldest what-if designs in automotive history. Number 2. In 1970, Ferrari and coach builder Pininfarina decided to toss the rulebook into the stratosphere and build something that looked less like a car and more like it belonged on the set of 2001: A Space Odyssey. The result was the Ferrari 512S Modulo, a wedge-shaped, ultra-flat concept so low it seemed to slice through the air. Based on the chassis of Ferrari's 512S race car, it hid a monstrous 550 horsepower V12 under a body so radical it covered most of the wheels. The canopy-style cockpit slid forward to let the driver in, like boarding a jet fighter. The Modulo wasn't just about shock value. It embodied the early 1970s obsession with space-age minimalism and aerodynamic experimentation. Although it never hit production, it remains one of the most striking and bizarre Ferraris ever built, proving the brand could dream just as wildly as any sci-fi designer. Number 1. Citroën Karin 1980, the pyramid car from the future. In 1980, Citroën decided that rectangles and curves were for amateurs and gave the world the Karin, a concept car shaped like a perfect pyramid. Imagine if an Egyptian pharaoh commissioned a sci-fi spacecraft, then realized he needed to drive to the supermarket. That's the Karin. The interior was just as radical. The driver sat front and center, with 2 passengers behind on either side, like a reverse bowling pin formation. The dashboard wrapped around in a high-tech control hub, full of buttons that probably made you feel like you were about to launch missiles instead of headlights. It was never intended for mass production, and given its geometry, parallel parking would have been a nightmare. But the Karen remains a legendary reminder that concept cars can ignore the rules and still turn heads decades later.